back to my vlog. Today I wanted to talk about stress and weight loss. One of the biggest things that can cause us to hold on to weight is the amount of stress that occurs in our lives. A lot of people utilize eating or other adverse habits as a means to handle stress. And while it may be good in one essence to have a relaxation component built into your lifestyle, what ends up happening if it becomes the sole aspect of how you learn how to handle stress, anything could become problematic. And so, in the effects of overeating, what happens if someone turns to eating as a means to handle stress, that could become problematic by intaking too much calories. If someone turns to drinking as a way to handle stress, that in turn can also become problematic, not in the aspect of only weight gain, but also in the aspect of kidney and liver health. And so our body's a really an integrated organism, and really what our mind and our heart feels as it makes sense of its day-to-day journey to better ourselves and reach our ultimate potential. One of the things that happens is if the mind's holding on to stress, if it's stressing itself out, it causes the body to actually move into a position where it holds on to the energy stores or calories needed in order to get through our day-to-day life. And so today, an interesting email came up from WebMD, and it was how to quiet your mind, and it gave a few tips that I believe is really sort of a core foundation of the psychology perspective as well. And so from a psychology perspective, if we take a look at the ancient Greek origins of the word psyche, a lot of individuals place it into the mind, but that's not the case. Its origins meant to breathe or the soul. And so when we begin to look at stress and ways that we can begin to overcome stress, one of the first natural exercises that we can do is just to sit down and take deep breaths. In fact, I'm sure many of you may have seen when individuals are hyperventilating in the movie, they get handed a paper bag and they begin breathing in and just goes fast, 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 fast. And then it begins to rhythmically slow. And this is really a trick of mind, a trick of the eye, because what happens is the eye begins to focus on the bag expanding and contracting. And what happens in visualizing that, the mind gets unfocused on whatever's causing the panic, and it begins to focus on that bag. And what ends up happening, the source of the stress begins to slip away, because the source of the stress literally wasn't outside, it was always inside. And so when we begin to breathe, it's one of those areas that really can help in the overall maintenance of our life, as well as handling stress as it arises in our day to day, as well as assists in the journey towards weight loss. Because really, what ends up happening, the more grounded you are, the more focused you are, the more that you're able to begin letting go of those things that are bothering you, and you don't have the urge necessarily to engage in habits that may be adverse for your well-being. And so what I like to do first, I'm going to focus primarily on breath here, is just a quick exercise of deep breathing. What we want to do when we begin to deep breathe and invoke a meditative induction is we want to find the rhythm of our breath. Some people breathe by fours, other people breathe by threes. There is no difference between breathing by fours or threes. It just means the capacity your lungs have at this time to bring in the breath. And so what you want to do is find the rhythm of your breath. Some people breathe in fours. That means they breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Others breathe in by threes, meaning they breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. What ends up happening is you begin to focus your concentration on the breath itself and the count of the breath. This in turn is giving yourself an internal representation of the bag flowing in and out. Now notice I breathed through my nose and out my mouth. One of the reasons for this is basically to keep a continual rhythm of the breath, and it's also the type of breathing that runners use as a means to help control their breathing cycle. And part of this relaxation technique on quieting the mind is really to build an internal space that allows you to go within and let go. In fact, I heard an interesting quote today, and I'll include it in my next post. Let go and let God. And that just struck me like, oh wow, okay, so when we let go of control. The stress begins to relieve itself. Give it over to a higher power to take control of that. As we said in the last videos, we make space, and then we bring it in. And we bring in what's good. So anyways, try this out. Do about 15 to 20 breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Find your own breath's rhythm and tell me how it works for you. In fact, after about 15, 20 breaths, you should actually have some very good insight and regeneration of your energy stores. And so I'd look forward to your comments and let me know how this exercise went for you. Until next time, I hope you advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. Bye.